Today I want to talk about three things straight from God's Word that talk about the keys to prosperity and success. Because aren't we all looking for that? But often we don't look to God's Word. But in Joshua 1:8, it says, "Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night and do everything that's written in it. Then you'll be prosperous and successful." So let's break that down just quickly. First of all, keep the book of the law. Now, it's the Bible. Now, obviously, at that time, this is the Old Testament, so there really were only a few books that the people knew at that time. So he's saying, keep the book of the law. When you go through, for example, especially when you're going through Genesis and Exodus and Leviticus, it's all about the law. It's the things to do and it's the things not to do. And so he's saying we need to keep the book of the law. So in other words, I need to be reading God's word. I can't know these things without first reading. We can hear it when we go to church or we listen to sermons, but we need to keep the book. And it says on our lips. So that's saying to me that as I read, I need to be saying it out loud. And I don't always, but a lot of times as I'm reading God's word, a lot of times, especially verses that seem to jump out at me, I will say them out loud because, as I've said before, there is power in speaking the words. So that's number one. First of all, we need to be reading God's word and we need to be speaking his word. And then the next thing says, meditate on it day and night. Now, meditation, meditate often has a lot of different meanings, but really, very simply, meditating is just thinking, it's dwelling. Think of it like chewing on something. Maybe it's a juicy steak. You don't just take a bite, chew 2 or 3 times and swallow. You chew and you chew. And in this case, you're thinking on the words. What is this saying to me? And then the next part is do everything that's written in the book. So this is the part that comes with obeying. So first of all, we have our Bibles, and you can have it on your phone. There's lots of different versions, super easy ones, especially for that person who's going, it's so hard. There are many, many translations, and some are just called easy. But we first have to get into the Word. You might want to start in the New Testament in one of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. But you get into the Word, and then you speak it. Make it a prayer. When you come to places you don't understand, just say, God, can you shine a light on this verse? Because I'm not understanding it. I'm not sure what it's saying. And then you meditate on it. Once you understand, you meditate. There are answers to life's solutions in God's Word. Now, there may not be that exact wording for your situation. Buy this house, marry that person. But the more that you are reading his word and you're having that connection and you meditate on it, you will hear God speak to you into your heart, into your mind, and you will find answers. And then you do everything that's written in it. And again, the three go together. Getting into the word, meditating on it, and then obeying. And then the beauty is, it says, then, not before, after you've done these things, then you will be prosperous and successful. And that is something that we're all looking for. It may not always be a financial thing, but I believe a lot of times it is. But prosperous in ideas, in friendships, in relationships, successful in doing the things that God called you to do. We're all different. We all have a different assignment. But whatever that assignment is, he wants to give us success. This is Joshua 1:8. And God was getting ready to lead Joshua into the promised land. And I want to say this before I close. He had all these promises. People had been looking forward to going into the promised land for years, for over 40 years. And now Joshua has the responsibility of taking the children of Israel into the promised land. But God knew, and we need to know, there are going to be challenges. It wasn't just going to be, hey, I'm here, and everything's just perfect. We are going to have challenges in life. And that's why all the more we need God's word. We need to know it. We need to read it out loud. We need to meditate on it. And then we need to do whatever it says to do. And God will give us the strength, especially through his son Jesus, to help us to be obedient. So we all want that success. We want to be prosperous. And now we know it's really following God's laws. So I want you to have an amazing day, and I want you to really think on, what does that mean for you? If you haven't in a while, whether it's picking up the Bible on an app on your phone or getting an old-fashioned book, but get into God's word. There's so many amazing promises. You will be amazed. So have a wonderful week. Come back tomorrow morning for a 5-minute Monday Mindset. This is Coach Maggie with another Soul Food Sunday. Take care, and of course, God bless.